Welcome back to Morning Line. On this Tuesday, everyone, Nick Barris along with Paul Kenny. He's a master mechanic with us from Precision Tune, taking your phone calls at 737-7587. If you want to jump in with 615 in front of all that. Let's get back to the phone lines. Questions about your car. So take advantage of this shot here. We'll go to Joe. Joe, good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Paul, the radio talk show host she was talking about was Les Jameson.
Les Jameson.
I remember him.
Yeah, the comment I want to make is, Paul Barrell knows this. Nick, you need to know this. The computer in your car, and then the computers have been in there for several years, can give you if in case of an accident, they can pull the computer out of that car and tell you how fast it was going, where you had the brakes on, how much throttle you was giving it, and a whole lot more information. So this Volkswagen deal is just another happening with computers. So beware. Computers are great tools, but for a long time they've been giving information and storing information on cars and a bunch of other stuff.
It's a great point. Now, I know what he's talking about with reference, and I've seen it in investigations in truck accidents. It's almost like trucks have a black box like an airplane does, and it records it, and when there's a fatal accident, they can see what the truck was doing. Now, is he right that in most cars that you can have,
it's not quite as detailed as big trucks, airplane stuff, but you have a snapshot that will go back so many seconds, and it will tell you if the brake switch was on or off, tell you the RPMs of the car, it will tell you the miles per hour of the car. What it won't tell you is, Nick pulled in the parking lot on two wheels in his Miata, and but it does give you some limited information. It's what the insurance companies are using now. One real popular one has one that will plug into your connector on your car, and basically it will record long enough to let them know a little bit of your driving habits. And I don't know if it's a marketing tool, if they're actually adjusting the price of your insurance, your premiums based on your driving habits. But it's kind of like a Fitbit for your car. And I think it's great because there's some people on the road that ought to be paying $1,000 a week, and then people like me ought to be free. So I'm all for that. So
that's interesting that they'll be able to plug in and see. All right, we're insuring you. Let's see. Oh wow, you're running 90 miles an hour half the time. And all of this
and your rate of acceleration, because you've got a throttle position sensor. Your rate of acceleration, versus your road speed can tell if you're flooring it or if you're just kind of driving conservatively.
Where that might come in handy would be for the parents of young teens that are driving for the first time. I don't know, is this something that you and I would have access to do ourselves, or is it just insurance companies? Because if you had a young son who was driving and everything's fine, but every once in a while you want to plug in and see, let's just see how fast he's been driving.
There are apps and I don't know exactly brand names or anything like that, but there are apps where you can monitor a vehicle. There are also some vehicles that you can actually have the top miles per hour set.
Like a governor? You can't go beyond a certain speed.
Right, yes. So so there's things out there. Nothing's a good substitute for good parenting. I'm saying this with a son that 29 days after he got his license cartwheeled an RX-7. So you as a new parent, all you can do is try to teach them and pound it into their thick skulls. Not to text and drive, and to
not be distracted by friends in the car with them. That's the problem. They can drive just fine maybe when they're with you and they know you're watching.
Sure.
I just worry when Huey, and I told you we just got him a new car. He got his learner's permit. Then we didn't buy him a new car. We bought him a used beater that's going to be his car when he's old enough to drive.
Perfect, yes.
But I just worry when he's with friends. I think he's smart enough to know not to text while he's driving, but he's got friends in the car maybe where he's taking them to drama practice or swim clean, and they're talking and you get distracted.
And we all drove with the music turned up and bobbing our heads, and doing all that. So, it's just heartbreaking whenever you hear somebody's lost a child in a wreck.
We've had to cover a few of those. It's awful. All right, let's go to Taylor. Hi, Taylor. Good morning.
Good morning, Nick.
Hey.
Good morning to Paul.
Good morning.
Channel 5 Plus has their own answer to NPR's really funny show, Click and Clack.
Yeah, you got frickin' frack here.
a 6 or 7 year old Mercury sedan, and I'm sure it's the power steering pump, and I don't know if it's the pump itself or the belts that operate it, but it's making a noise when I make turns, and the more severe the turn, the louder the noise is, and then you straighten back up, and it stops pretty much immediately. So I'm sure you've handled many of those. So what is my problem?
On a daily basis, and I know you've probably already checked the fluid, right?
I have, yes.
Okay.
It's okay.
All right. Well, it's it's probably in your pump, and it depends on what kind of noise. If you're getting a squeal noise, then that would be the belt. But if it's a whirring noise, kind of like that, it's going to be louder on your turns, or if you're turning tight into a parking spot, that is actually the impeller on the pump starting to wear out and make some noise, and the pump's going to go eventually. Maybe not this year. It just depends on how long you want to put up with the noise. And but yeah, it sounds like a pump replacement's probably in your cards. How many miles do you have on it? Over 100,000?
No, but close, 93.
93. Okay. Well, it's that's a little early for a pump, but yeah, there's there's a possibility that is the noise, or I should say almost a certainty, and yeah, you're gonna have to get it replaced. And I would absolutely, if it gets so bad that you're hearing it all the time, even when you're not turning, it's time to get it done, because you don't want to let it fail completely, because you get a lot of shrapnel and debris down in your steering gear and everything. So don't let it go indefinitely, but yeah, you're probably looking at a pump on that.
Taylor, we got to go to a break, but thank you for your call. Hope that helps a bit. Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got more calls coming in. We do have the lines open for you. 737-7587. A couple lines open. And question about your car, Master Mechanic will try to answer for you as soon as we come back. Stay with us.